Welcome to Agile Commerce Academy. Appreciate you taking your time to attend this session. We hope to contribute a good amount of value before you end this session. So, the topic for discussion today is, let me also tell you what is the topic and why did we have to pick this up. We thought of having a little session to give you some insights into how to crack both groups of CA Inter in one attempt. And the reason that we thought of doing this was, of late we have been generally seeing that after a few months of the classes itself, students make up their mind that I am going to give one group at a time. This has become very common these days. For some reason, I don't know why it's become. So initially we thought that this is an exceptional, because normally everybody wants to pass off that one particular inter and then get into final, because some part of the battle is still to be fought at the final stage. Now, since this was increasingly happening, one group, we thought we should talk and address this issue so that you get to the right track of clearing both the groups. Now, we have divided this session today into two parts. One, we will talk paper wise what you can do so that it is a smart work for you to cover both groups at one point of time. And the other part is, there is a certain frame of mind also that is needed. See, we are a product of what we think, that's all. Now, how much is the challenge that you are ready to take depends upon your appetite. So, how do you increase that appetite to succeed, keep yourself motivated? Two parts. The first part on papers, each paper, how do we address that? Let's start with papers. Let's start with the papers themselves. So, let me give a quick introduction about myself. This is Dr. Ram Kasi Vishwanathan. So, I've been teaching students of CA final inter from 2012, regularly, sometimes irregularly. I'm also a lecturer at Swiss School of Business Management, Geneva. I conduct lectures and mentor students of doctoral studies apart from being a lawyer. Now, let's look into the subjects that you have in CA inter. Advanced accounts, taxation, auditing. That's one group. FMSM, costing. What else did you have here? Audit comes here. What else is here? Yeah, that's okay. The group is fine, whichever group is fine. So, where we have to start the discussion is, now students who join class, they go through the rigor of going through the classes and then they start the preparation. When they start the preparation, the general flow of the student is, let me take accounts. Imagine you are at a stage where classes are done, and you have started to prepare. You start with accounts, then number 2, then number 3. By the time you are at say 2 subjects or 2.5 subjects, you are out of steam. When what you say is, I've got to go this far. I've got to go this far, then let me not take the risk. Let me stick to one group and let me do a very good job of writing this one group. This is normally where the student mentality goes in that direction. Instead, what you have to do is, first of all, everything starts from the target that you want to achieve. Let's take for an example, CA inter exams. Some of you are appearing in September, right? Some in January. What is your general target of CA inter exams? What do you want to achieve in that exam? You can tell me whatever, You want to pass, you want an exemption, but it should be a genuine answer, right? What do you want to get out of that exam? September or January, exam written, come out. What do you want? We'll start with Kamil. Rank. He wants a rank. Pass. Right? See, you saw a variety of answers now. See, who is studying for the exam? A human being is studying for the exam, right? You don't have a robo who's you key and say that go study, write the exam and come. A human being is subject to the vagaries of psychology, right? We are like this. We are made like this. Unless you have a target for the stars, you won't even achieve the moon. You know this. First step, revise your target. Your target should be at least a 420 out of 600. Okay? Or let's say 420, if you feel it is too much, let's say somewhere between 360 to 400. Okay? Is it possible or not? Okay? That is not the question you should be asking when you keep the target. You understood? What is the total of the two groups? 600, right? If you keep a target of somewhere around 400, right? Somewhere around 380, 400 or 380 to 420. This should be the target. This is a very vital step. Okay? One thing I appreciate in him is, he said, I want a rank. Okay? See, nobody is going to hold you wrong that why did you keep a target of something that you could not achieve. No, it's your personal target. You are going to put your effort towards that. Your body and mind is going to be driven towards this target. If you, and remember, let's understand a fact. You are going to fall short, no doubt about it. You are human beings, correct? You are going to have good days, bad days, sick days, problems in the road, problems at home, weather, everything. You are going to fall short. Do you want to fall down to 400, 380, or do you want to fall down to 295, 285? Where do you want to fall down to? Correct? That fall, you should provide for that fall when you keep the target. So the very first is revise your target. Keep a target of exemption at least, okay? Even if this is like 70%, very good, but still keep a target of exemption at least. This is step number 1. Step number 2. Step number 2. Now you have to crack the subjects chapter by chapter. Okay, if you try to consume one subject, digest and then go, you are going to move slowly. So it is like this. Okay, I ask you to walk 5 kilometers. How long will you take approximately? 40-45 minutes. I give you a weight of 10 kilos and I ask you to walk. How long will you take? Right? So, when you travel through your study days, if you travel in such a way that you are daily reaching this target, how? Let's take for example, there is this paper of advanced accounts. If you look at the papers properly, the past papers, the valuation, the weightage that is given for each topic, you will know that I know this is a vast paper. You agree? I also agree. But look at it like this. The questions on AS, okay? Then the questions on final accounts, okay? Consolidation, okay? If you take these areas, okay, you will know for a fact that you don't even have to guess whether there will be questions on these or not. Plus, they give you a minimum guarantee of 25 to 30 marks. Yes or no? All those who have written CA Inter already, at least recently. Yes? The way you have to do is pick up a group, okay, crack that minimum guarantee of 25-30 marks in that particular subject, stop, okay, stop. But then do it in such a way that pick up a small piece. This is a very small piece. AS, final accounts, consolidation. AS in CA Inter, there is only a certain level of complexity that the institute also can ask you. They cannot test you at the level the final students are tested. Correct? So, the good thing is the level of complexity is on your side. Size may be more, the level of complexity is on your side. Okay? For example, include branch accounts also in this, if it is that I am saying. Look, take this small piece, but do it perfectly. Do it perfectly. Okay? Instead of taking up the whole chapter, sitting and attacking it with a blunt knife, take this small piece, do it thoroughly. In a way that whatever is asked, however it is tested and twisted, you are able to answer. Stop, come here. Followed? Yes? Here, you have a DT, IDT breakup. Now, facts of the case. The DT itself is worth 100 marks in size, you and all of us know. Yes? The 5 headings itself is worth 100 marks, but it is 50. This we all know. This again is 50. But I will tell you something about the DT. Only the size is big. Only the size is big. It is not at all complicated for you at CA Inter. Right? See, being voluminous and being difficult, they are two different things. Voluminous just means that you have too many things to study, that's all. It is not at all complicated because the most complicated aspects of income tax are not even touched in CA Inter. Okay? Second, the same student who clears CA Inter and who joins CA final classes, say in a month or two along with articles or something like that, he is going to do 2 times this size. Same brain, same body, same mind, everything same. That same student is going to do 2 times this size. Okay? Several layers of complexity. Probably the most complicated law in India. You are going to do that. So, being at an inter stage, why should you get intimidated by this? Okay? 5 heads. Think about the complication point of this. House property. How much can somebody complicate in a house property problem? Tell me. Right? How much can it be complicated? Right? You will have a house property income, the gross annual value, different ways of calculation, some deductions, exemptions. Okay? How much can it be complicated? No. PGBP. Isn't it very, very commonsensical? Right? There is a business, the income has to be taxed. Expenses against that have to be provided for as a deduction. Remaining will be taxed. This is the common sense thread. Okay? Capital gains. Very much like a simple mathematics paper. Right? Basic calculations, indexation. Think that you are going to handle your own property. All these things will come to you directly. Okay? Imagine your father is trying to sell a property. Okay? He comes to you that you are doing CA. I spent so much on you, at least do this for me. Okay? He asks you to do a capital gains calculation. You will touch Google here, there, everywhere you will do and give, correct? For your own house, right? It's only big here, it's not at all complicated. Take that in your mind. Now, where can you leverage the paper as a scoring option? You know that this is an elephant, right? Taming it it's big, so taming it will take time. But is this? Not at all. If you score anything less than 35 on 50 on this, okay, that means you did not do a sharp and smart work. There is nothing that can make you lose marks here. 35 on 50 also, I gave you a lot of leeway in this. Okay? GST, there is only one law you have to study. There is only one law you have to study. Every day, whether you know, you don't know, every invoice, every bill, there is an GST. Right? There are MCQs here. Your modules, I will tell you, compared to the DT module, the IDT module is very, very comprehensive, very pictorial, right? If you read the module with a pencil in hand, whatever you feel is important, go on underlining. MCQs, how many marks you get MCQs? 10 marks? 1-3. MCQs in IDT. 1-5, correct? 15 marks. It is already there in those two modules. It's already there. Correct? It's those 15 marks are already sitting there. Just for you to read, underline, go and write 15. Okay. The whole of IDT, the GST concept itself, now you will see when we start discussing from another 2-3 days or so. Okay. It is so appealing to the common sense, because in you for CA Inter you don't have too much complications about assessment and everything that the final students have. So for you it is very appealing to the common sense. No way you should get 35 to 40, less than 35 to 40 inside this. Right? Having come here, now you have reached here. What is left of you is here now auditing is left. Okay? Sir will talk in detail about auditing. Okay? A similar approach over there. By the time you finish this group, okay, you can juxtapose the subjects here, but by the time you finish this and go over here, now take the time, finish the remaining. Are you going to leave exactly everything about this? No, you are not going to leave. You are going to still do that. But when you have taken this approach and the last few aspects of that are done, your motivation level is different now. Okay, say for example you run a 10-kilometer race. Which is the most difficult 1 kilometer? Which is the easiest 1 kilometer? The last is? Suppose you are coming first or second. The last 1 kilometer, the first 1 kilometer. The last is what? Yes. You are now at a stage where you have nicely consolidated your group. Okay? You have nicely consolidated the group. Then addressing those few other remaining chapters. Remember one thing, whatever you study, if you stick to the institute's module, right, they have given you, since I have seen the module evolve over several years, I can tell you for a fact, primary witness is that over the years the module has become increasingly user friendly. Okay, there used to be no problems, test your knowledge, questions, answers, nothing given in the module earlier. Okay, you only had the concepts, remaining you had to go to every other book in the market and solve and come. Now they have made it very, very self-contained. You don't have to go one page, one word outside that module. All the problems over there. Okay, solve them. Now whatever you have left behind, you have consolidated one group in half the time that you thought. When I finish this, I will tell you totally how many days it should take. You will be surprised to see that. You have given 6 months, 8 months, 10 months to appear for one group, thinking that this is safe. Only one group. It's not at all safe. I'll tell you why. Okay? Come here now. Okay? I will leave FMSM for Pawan sir to answer, because he is very close to the subject. These two aspects, let's look at it. Okay? Law. Again, size does matter. Law, agree? But really tell me like this, if you break it down into Companies Act and others, okay, not less than 40 to 45% comes from here. Yes, then this is 55%. But look at the size. For 55, how much do you have to study? For 45, how much do you have to study? If you look at the law module, this area for 45 is just about 60% of this size. Correct? It's so small, this area. Why can't you do an IDT kind of effort over here and score the maximum out of this, say 40 to 45? Right? These laws are not complex. Right? This is a complex law. Why? This has evolved over many number of years. Lot of defaults have been uncovered, and then they have been addressed through amendments and provisions. These are straightforward laws, right? Do this, stop with law, right? Do this, stop with law. Go to costing. Okay. Now, one of the most interesting subjects that appeal to your common sense, costing. Okay, what do you have? Marginal costing, ABC. There are several things I know, okay, but I am calling out the ones which are going to be the crux of the paper. Okay, standard costing, Okay, budgets. No, you will not see a paper with no questions on all of them, not any of them, all of them. Anybody who has written in the past, cleared CA Inter past, have you seen a paper without a question on all of these? Have you ever seen? Anybody? No. How complex is marginal costing, you tell me? Right? How complex it is? The only area where you have to use some of your memory is standard costing. You have written set of specific formula. Again, remember, Inter, you don't have all of the standard costing like it is in the final. There is a limitation here. The set of formula are limited. Okay? You only have to consume that much. Big, small, forget it. But there is a certainty that it is going to come in the exam. Okay? For example, if there are 25 formulae, I might feel that 25 is too less, you might feel 25 is too large. Fine. But there is one surety. All of them are going to come in the exam. You tell me, where else do you get a question paper beforehand like this? You tell me, where else do you get? Can you expect what are you going to get in DT? Can you expect what are you going to get here? This is so predictable. Okay? This is so predictable. This many if you cover, minimum of 30% you have done. Now look at your motivation level at this point. You have done this, you have done this, and you have done this. Versus you chugged yourself through one group, steam out, okay, stress of having to complete, fear that if I do both, I will fail in both. Let me write one. Okay, compare this situation versus that situation. Now you feel that, okay, so I have come a long way to reach this target. Okay, I have come a long way. I have scored past at least 220 in this target. Now I am left with the pending portions of this. Are you going to leave this? No, you are not going to leave. You are still going to study, but the pressure will not be there on you anymore compared to starting with say complete act and sitting and going through the unending list of provisions. Okay, because your state of mind is now with you, otherwise it is going to be against you. Okay, now you will do all these things. Once you do this, you know that while doing each incremental hour, like in marginal costing, each incremental hour you spend on this, you are getting bonus marks traveling towards this point. You know that for a fact. Okay, plus I'll tell you what, see, RTPs, NTPs, okay, and let's stop with the written practice. I'll come to that point. Okay, RTPs, MTPs. Okay, somebody who has observed the pattern, they will find that RTPs and MTPs have already set the tone in your mind before the exam to expect what is going to come inside the exam. And it is not very uncommon to see direct reflections from here into that. That also we have observed in the past many times. Even in final I have seen that. Direct lift and placed over there. You know the reason why? The reason is institute does not do it without a reason. They want to ensure that you are doing this. To promote that, they will pick one or two from here and keep it over there for sure. If not exactly lift in XYZ, they can do it into ABC or make some little modifications. But institute wants to promote this stuff because they don't want you to go in search of knowledge to wrong places. Stick to the source. Fine? Then, now that you have, before I give over to Sriram sir and Pawan sir, now that you have covered this, okay, take a break. Take a break of 2 days, 3 days, whatever. Fine. But come back to now the writing practice. Writing practice, for God's sake, CA Inter students, don't do chapter wise practice. Chapter wise will give you a false confidence because in the exam you are not going to get chapter wise questions. It is going to be a concocted question over there. where you have to judge whether it is from this chapter or that chapter. It is very simple. Our brain works on the path of least resistance. That means what? If you have traveled from here to the door 100 times, if I change the entrance here, like I told this example, I will again go there and go here. That is what it is, our brain. You do this writing practice, okay? The MTPs, answer the test series that classes conduct, okay? Take that opportunity, write. By the time you go into the exam, it is your 4th exam or 5th exam. It is not your first exam. There are no butterflies in the stomach anymore. You don't look at the question paper and get blank. What happened? You have already done all those things over here. Correct? It is very much like how you do in cricket. You get out in nets 10 times. You will solve those problems. 11th time you will go and do a proper job in the match. Don't compromise on this. Okay? Now for doing all of these things, okay, all that you need is, once you do the classes and everything, is all that you need is a maximum of 70 days. I am saying, I am not even asking you to study 70 days, 18 hours a day, 70 days, no. Good amount of break in between. 2 days, 3 days after one, okay. See that the trick is like this. When you work very hard. When you rest, you completely rest. Okay? This discipline you should have in yourself. Okay? If you think that, oh God, I came into this CA Inter, I am having to do all this stuff in life. Otherwise, I would have walked into Kalki movie today, Sunday. Not right. Because whether in CA or not, eventually, life is not going to spare you without you picking all these lessons of discipline. Somewhere or the other, somebody is going to drill this into you. You go to work. You go to work. For that, whatever salary that you get, that paltry sum of salary that you get, your employer is going to squeeze anything but your blood and leave you. You are still going to work for the rest of your life. Are you going to say that I don't have the option to watch Kalki movie, I am not going to work? No, that becomes a necessity. Get that discipline inside yourself now. You don't have to even work for anybody. You can work for yourself. The same thing, correct? The same thing, correct? You train yourself now or you train yourself later. If there is an option that somewhere in the world I don't even have to do all these things, why take this headache? No, you don't have an option. There is no such option like that. Okay? Whether here or somewhere else, this is there. Better do it now. You are in your early 20s or something, do it now, big deal. Matter of 70 days you do. And you have the best chance of clearing when you write both the groups. Why? Like I keep on telling, institute gives you a benefit of aggregate. The excess aggregate in one can be compensated in another place. If you are writing one group, you are telling the institute, I don't want that benefit of you. Tell me. Any sense in saying that? It's very difficult to get any benefit from the institute already. On top of it, you are saying that I don't want that benefit. That means you have to score 300 separate. 296, 304 scenario of passing, you are giving away already when you say group 1. I'll write one group. I'll write group 2. You are already giving away. Okay? Though I won't suggest this, I know of students who missed one attempt to write both the groups and then they cleared. Inter as well as final. Because writing both groups is so very important to everybody. Anybody who understands this game, basically this is a game of how you play. Anybody who understands will do it like that. You write one group, what happens is, like I keep saying, for example, let me say, that particular attempt, institute said that I want to keep one paper difficult. Let me test the resilience of the student. Unfortunately, it came in the group that you went. Now what happens? You never know. Correct? And they spared the other group that particular attempt, saying that let's keep it standard, it's okay. And you did not write this. You don't know when what is going to happen. Correct? So that is the reason why you should write both. That is, this is the method how you should approach that. Okay? I will allow Pavan sir and Sriram sir to talk about FM and auditing, how to incorporate that into your overall plan. Okay? Thanks everybody. Thanks for listening patiently.